Big Polly's World of Sports Sims presents the Hometown Football League. And tonight's game, Tampa Bay traveling to Baltimore for dun 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 dun, quote unquote, Monday Night Football. This is the last game of week number 10, the recording date, October 6, 2020. So the 7 o'clock game that you just saw, I recorded October 2nd, and this game I am recording 3 days before you see it on October 6th. We took a pause to note that the president was in the hospital, and we wanted to be sure he was all well before I started recording games again. Plus, I'll have some news on my future plans for the remainder of the season when we get to the end of the first quarter. So, Tampa Bay 0-8. They are the only team yet to win in the Hometown Football League. Baltimore 4-4, and with a win, they would be one of the projected 4 teams to advance out of the Northern Conference. And if not, then you have a 3-way tie between Detroit, Baltimore, and Cincinnati. And just doing some quick looking here, Baltimore would win there too, unless they lose by more than 25 points. So we will come to you from Baltimore, Maryland. It's the Ravens, combination of the Colts prior to their move to Indianapolis. So if I called them the Colts by accident, I am sorry. They're 12-point favorites at M&T Bank Stadium against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who are, as I was saying, 0-8, and if I do a season 2, they're probably going to get the first draft pick. So let's see what we got here. A 39-degree night. It was 49. The computer picked 49 as the temperature, but because it's a Monday night game, I lowered it 10. Baltimore won the toss and will receive. Steve DeBerg and Johnny Unitas will be your quarterbacks, and it will be John McKay against Brian Billick. So Baltimore is in kind of like the bluish purple, as you see here. And Tampa Bay in their road whites. I used the creamsicle Buccaneer colors for Tampa Bay. Lewis, Hildenbrand, and Laird back deep for Baltimore. And this game gets underway. It's Lewis on the return for 23 yards out to the 30. Your starters for the Baltimore offense, Jamal Lewis and Joe Washington at running back, Berry and Alexander at wideout, Heap at tight end, Johnny Yu out of Louisville is going to be your quarterback, Odgen, the 10-plus left tackle, Yanda, Curry, Barwigen, and Vogel, that is your offensive line. Tampa Bay has 4 10s in the defensive lineup, and that's kind of been their wont. In their franchise history, they've had a pretty good defense, but not a very good offense. Selman, Claiborne, McCoy, and Logan, your front 4. Derek Brooks leading the linebacking core. Hardy Nickerson and Levante David, the other linebackers. Rondé Barber, Aqib Talib, John Lynch, and Mr. Barron, Mark Barron. I knew he was a 4-letter word beginning with M. Those are your defensive backs, and on 1st and 10, we're just going to do a straight-out give to Jamal Lewis. Tampa Bay, even though they are 0-8 to start the year, remember, Atlanta in the Southern Conference would make the playoffs right now with a 3-6 record. So Tampa Bay still has all to play for, even though they have gotten off to such a miserable start. On 2nd down, it's going to be a short pass to Joe Washington, and it's caught, and Washington will go all the way to the 50-yard line after a pickup of 16 yards. I might be a little rusty, folks. I haven't played this game in a few days. So I have been standing down from taping until we knew what was up with our president. And of course, on this day, October 6th, he has been back at the White House for about 24 hours. Jamal Lewis trapped right on 1st and 10 from midfield. We have a marker.
Grabbing the face mask.
Ooh, 15 defense against the Buccaneers. Derek Brooks.
5-yard penalty, automatic, 1st down.
And not off to a good start for Tampa Bay, as now that moves the ball to the 41. It's a 5-yard penalty, though. It was not a 15. So on 1st and 10 from the 41, we'll go long to Raymond Berry. Blitz coming. Unitas was going to try to get it off anyway. Incomplete. Rondé Barber tipped it. Of course, Rondé Barber was the hero of that year that the Bucs won the Super Bowl with that interception return for the touchdown in Philadelphia that sealed the NFC Championship for the Bucs, their first ever. And they are off to a 3-1 start in 2020, so maybe they're heading back there.
Number 63, 5-yard penalty.
They get Leroy Selman for encroachment, and that sets up a 2nd and 5 at the 36. They'll look to Heap on a medium hitch pass. And that is thrown and caught for a gain of 19. John Lynch on the tackle for the Buccaneers. Of course, John Lynch is now the general manager of the 49ers, who just made the Super Bowl last year against Kansas City, and they were the runner-ups. They had a pretty solid lead in the 4th quarter, and then Kansas City just came back and took charge of that game. Kansas City 4-0 as I record this in the 2020 season. Pitch to Lewis, and he will gain yardage, 5 to be exact. Levante David on the tackle at the 12-yard line. 2nd and 5, they'll go 3 wide, and they're going to put Lenny Moore to use on a short out. This is the 9th play of the drive. Unitas scrambles. He'll be short of the first down by a little bit. 3rd and 1. He gained 4, and Derek Brooks made the tackle. Ball is now at the 8. Double tight end set up, and Unitas is going to call his own number here. Quarterback sneak. But Tampa Bay bunched up playing short and tight. We're going to make it instead. A hitch to Mackey. John Mackey, the 2nd tight end, wearing 88. Incomplete. McCoy was hurt, and he is out for the game. So Booger McFarland is going to come in and replace him. Booger, that was his nickname. He's also known as Anthony. He's out of LSU. 4th and a yard, and with the little bit of a wind advantage, Baltimore will kick the field goal. Tucker from 25 is good, and Baltimore takes the 3-0 lead with 10:49 left in the 1st quarter. That was an 11-play drive going 62 yards, but did not get 7, nearly got 3. Isaac Hagan's the deep man back for Tampa Bay, along with Garrett Blunt and Humphreys. But it's kicked into the end zone for a touchback. Steve DeBerg leading the Tampa Bay offense, and he is a replacement for Jameis Winston, who had some trouble in the early part of this HTFL season. Dunn and Allstott are your running backs. Evans and Carrier at wideout. Jimmy Giles at tight end. DeBerg quarterbacking. Gruber, Middleton, Mayberry, Farrell, and Penn are your offensive line. Baltimore, a solid defense. 4 10s in the lineups and 1 10 plus. Marchetti, Nagata, Adams, and Art Donovan are your front 4. Hendricks, Lewis, and Suggs, your linebackers. McAllister, Keene, Reed, and Volk, your defensive backs. So let's see what the Bucs can do here. 1st and 10. It's a give to Dunn. And Dunn, with a lot of running room, weaves his way for a 14-yard gain. Ed Reed on the tackle for the Ravens. 1st and 10 at the 34. Allstott, not in good hands that time. He loses a yard. Ray Lewis on the tackle. 2nd and 11 at the 33. Thrown for Mike Evans, but incomplete. And that sets up 3rd and 11. See what DeBerg is up to here. Caught by Evans and a 1st down. Evans last week, DeBerg last week had a 319-yard gain through 2 picks, 3 touchdowns, went 20 out of 38. 1st and 10 at the 46. But let's talk about Mike Evans. No, not the actor who played Lionel Jefferson's son on the Jeffersons. His biggest game was against Philadelphia. He had a 7-catch, 80-yard gain. And overall, in the replay, he has 24 catches, 320 yards, and 2 touchdowns. So, 1st and 10 at the 46 for the Bucs. Incomplete. 2nd and 10. Kevin House will come in as a third wide receiver. Was a favorite target of Doug Williams back in the early 80s on those 81 and 82 playoff teams. Here's Dunn again breaking loose, and that's a gain of 18. Nicely done. McAllister on the tackle for Baltimore. I control Baltimore, the computer controlling Tampa Bay. This is Dunn, a 1-yard loss. Nagata on the stop. 2nd and 11 at the 37. Gain of
Holding.
3.
Offense. Number 72, 10-yard penalty.
For Allstott, that'll be nullified by the Penn holding call. And it's now 2nd and 21 at the 47. DeBerg looks, fires, incomplete, looking for Dunn. 3rd and a cab ride from Bethesda. Here's your throw, incomplete, looking to Dunn again, and no catch. I don't think they'll fake it here on 4th and 21 from the 47. We'll look for a return possibility. Punt by Bidwell goes 32 to the 15. So that's where Baltimore takes over with 6:30 now left, opening quarter, and a 3-0 Ravens lead. Jamal Lewis, trap left. It's a blitz. So Joe Washington will be engaged on the screen. That's incomplete.
Offsides. Defense. Number 54, 5-yard penalty.
Lavonte David called for the offsides. And it's 1st and 5. David has been leading the league most weeks in recent weeks with in tackles. We'll see after tonight if he still has the tackle lead. Lewis, outside run, 1st and 5. Tampa Bay playing in tight, and he got back to the line, no gain. Nickerson on the tackle. 3rd and a yard. Heap, short hitch. Caught, and a 1st down. They only needed 5 yards. They got 11. Lynch on the tackle for Tampa Bay. Lewis, trap left, 1st and 10. And he's back to the line and all. 5 carries, 13 yards in the early going for Lewis, Jamal Lewis. Alexander will throw to him, short slant. And that's rifled in there, a nice catch. And Rondé Barber is hurt, and his return probable. And they will put Donnie Abraham in to replace him. So, going to be a feast here for Baltimore if they want to engage in some throws, and they're going to. Derek Alexander again on the fly. They'll go right at Donnie Abraham, and that's a catch. Pickup of 10. And Dave Logan down now. He will return in a few plays. They bring in Dave Pear to replace him at defensive tackle. Dave Pear was one of the first Buccaneers to make a Pro Bowl. Lewis, trap left. And Lewis has the 1st down, a gain of 11, and Dave Logan going back in. It's going to be Washington will stay in the block as Lewis will get the ball on a trap right. Actually, it's going to be a screen as the Bucs are blitzing. And Unitas, recognizing it, calls the audible. The screen dropped by Mr. Lewis, and with 3 minutes left, it's 2nd and 10. Raymond Berry, medium slant. He's open, and he's got a touchdown, Baltimore. Raymond Berry with the grab, and it's a 9-0 Baltimore lead. Tucker puts it through the extra point, 10-0. If you are brand new to watching these HTFL games, the 2-point conversion spot and the kicked extra point spot for 1 point, they are the same spot as the NFL used to have it before they decided to make teams declare whether or not they go for 1 or 2. I have the old rules where the extra point's much more automatic. And so that way, if a team wants to run a fake extra point, they can. 10-0. Higgins again back deep for the Bucs, and it's a touchback. 2:49 now left in the opening quarter. Let's see what the Bird can do now. Allstott, gain of 2 yards. 2nd and 8 at the 22. And it's done up the middle for a 3-yard gain. 3rd and 5, ball to 25 now. 3 wideouts in the game for the Bucs, and DeBerg completes it to one of those receivers. That's Kevin House, a gain of 10. Kevin House out of Southern Illinois. 1st and 10 at the 35. DeBerg under pressure, throws, picked. And it's going to go back. Touchdown, McAllister. Chris McAllister, a pick 6. And the route might be on here in Baltimore. 16-0. And the extra point makes it 17 with 28 seconds left in the first quarter. Higgins again back deep for the Buccaneers. And the Bucs off to a slow start. They trail 17-0. 1st and 10 at the 20. And it is Allstott, but a penalty.
Holding offense, number 88, 10-yard penalty.
Things going bad to worse for Tampa Bay. Jimmy Giles wipes out an Allstott 2-yard gain. 1st and 20. DeBerg to throw. He will scramble instead and gain 3 yards. And that'll do it for the first quarter. It is Tampa Bay trailing Baltimore 17-0. So here are your games coming up the next 3 days. We'll do the recap show. We're going to do 6 games in advance of week number 11, and then over the next 10 days, from the 12th to the following Friday, which would be the 23rd, we will do 10 remaining games, and we're going to show you the box scores of the other 6. We're also going to show you the playoff projections after week 10 on the recap show, 6:30, and then Baltimore will be right back at it, playing San Diego at 7 o'clock. And then 2 other week 11 games to get that week started. Carolina at New York, Denver at Pittsburgh. All these games will be 7 o'clock. And I am going to attempt to start doing these games live. That's why I'm doing this game on Tuesday the 6th. And I have been recording these games about a week in advance. But I'm going to be doing these games live, beginning with the Monday game at 7 o'clock. The recap show will be taped and will be aired at 6:30. But I will be attempting to be doing live streams from here on out the remainder of the season. So you got that to look forward to. 7 o'clock, we will be live and in color with these HTFL games right here on the Big Paulie's World of Sports Sims channel. Back to the game. 17-0, Baltimore leading Tampa Bay. The Bucs with 61 yards on 14 plays. Baltimore 16 plays, 132 yards. A 2nd and 17 as the Bucs continue to struggle. Throw incomplete, looking for Jimmy Giles. And that sets up 3rd and 17. And I'll share with you a couple of stories in these middle quarters. Gain of 3. DeBerg to Carrier, and it was Stukes who made the tackle. So we'll try to get these stories in once Baltimore takes possession. Lewis, an 11-yard return of a 53-yard punt by Bidwell. 1st and 10 at Baltimore. For Baltimore, they lead 17-0, 14-12, left in the opening half of play. And just getting my slide ready for the end of the third quarter. Tampa Bay and Baltimore share a little history. Jamal Lewis, a gain of 4 yards. Claiborne on the stop. It was in Baltimore where Tampa Bay got their first ever touchdown, which was a punt return by Danny Reese in the 3rd game of the 1976 season. Then the Bucs moved to the NFC in 1977. Off tackle right, Jamal Lewis again, but we're going to change it to a screen with a blitz on. But that's incomplete. The Bucs played a game against Baltimore the second week of the '79 season. They trailed 17 to nothing in that game, but they battled back and won 29 to 26 in that second week of the '79 season. Fly to Alexander on 3rd and 6. And it was the first time the Bucs had played or won an overtime game. 5 yards. Remember, by this point they were only 4 seasons into their life. It's going to be 4th and 1, so we're going to punt. And the ball, the 49, will be a sideline punt. Sam Koch. And it was the media here in Tampa Bay. Now remember, I was 8 years old when this happened, 1979. Thought that would wound up being the turning point of the season, and that was the first year the Bucs made the playoffs. Just their 4th year in existence, they went 10 and 6. Here is the Berg. Incomplete, looking for Evans. In fact, that was the year the Bucs were just 9 points away from making the Super Bowl. And that was the Super Bowl the Rams played against the Steelers, Super Bowl 14. Long throw, caught by Giles, but fumbled.
The previous play.
Reed picked it up. Baltimore ball, but this is all pending a review.
Upon further review, the runner was down by contact.
Okay, so the Giles catch will stand. And it'll be a 1st and 10 Tampa Bay at their own 49. That is a throw and a catch to Mark Carrier, who gains 11. Now, there were 2 Mark Carriers in the NFL around the same time. There was a Mark Carrier, who was a wide receiver for the Buccaneers. There was also a Mark Carrier who played defensive back for the Chicago Bears. 1st and 10 at the 40. That in itself's a little bit of a story, but not one I meant to tell, but true. Giles, a 23-yard grab, Ed Reed on the tackle. So the Buccaneers in business now, 1st and 10 at the 17. The Berg handed it off to Dunn. Art Donovan on the tackle. No gain. 2nd and 10 at the 17. Incomplete. The Berg throwing to Allstott. That sets up 3rd and 10. So the Bucs trying to get something here. That's another incomplete pass to Kevin House. And they will try a field goal here of about 35 yards. Good. Punt kick was officially 34 for Husted, Michael Husted. Picked for the Bucs in the 90s, and it's 17-3 with 9:44 left in the opening half. Lewis back deep. And this is Jermaine Lewis, and a nice return for him to the 30 of a 30-yard return. Mark Cotney made the tackle for the Bucs. Speaking of players on that 79 team, trap left Jamal Lewis. I know a lot of people in the sports sims community in YouTube love playing the Buccaneers, the 76 Bucs, the 79 Bucs, as their simulation projects. Jamal Lewis, 1st down, pickup of 8. And let's see, Baltimore 11 carries, 49 yards as a team, and Jamal Lewis has 9 for 40. Long bomb to Alexander, not a long bomb, but a long pass to Alexander here. There it goes, it's caught, 20, 10, and inside the 5 to the 3. That was a 55-yard pickup. And Derek Alexander has a season high. Beat Rondé Barber there. 1st and goal at the 3. Lewis, trap right. And Lewis finds Pater. Touchdown, Baltimore. And that is his 1st touchdown of the day. And Baltimore quickly answering the Buccaneers score with 7 more of their own. Tucker with the point after, 24-3 with 7:14 left to go. Hagan's back deep for Tampa Bay on the kickoff, but it is a touchback. 1st and 10 at the 20. A throw to Allstott,
Illegal
but
motion. Offense.
again
Number
called
88,
back.
5-yard penalty.
Jimmy Giles called for a legal motion. The Bucs have already racked up 6 penalties before Baltimore has gotten a penalty called against them. 1st and 15 at the 15, and another play,
False
another marker.
start. Offense.
Another one against Tampa Bay.
5-yard penalty. Repeat, first down.
Number 7, and that is Gruber with 5 more yards. The other way on a false start. 1st and 20 from the 10. DeBerg. Wide open was Mark Carrier, a gain of 17. Keene coming out for a little bit, and we have McAllister and Stukes in as corners for Baltimore. 2nd and 3 at the 27. Gain of 8, and that is Suggs on the tackle and Dunn on the rush. Dunn has 6 carries, 42 yards, so he's not having a bad game, but just Tampa Bay taking a pounding on the scoreboard. An end around to Mark Carrier, and he gains 14 yards, his longest rush of the year. 1st and 10 at the 49. Here's your throw, caught by Jimmy Giles, and Giles is going to score. Touchdown. That is 103 yards on the day for Jimmy Giles. And it's not even halftime, not even 5 minutes left to the half yet. Extra point, good for Husted, and it's 24-10, and we have 5:05 still left till the half. Here's Lewis back deep. So both teams lighting it up on the scoreboard. And that's a gain of 18 to the 19 on the return. Lewis fumbled the return, got it back. We're going to go play action again. Since it worked so good the last time, we'll go Raymond Berry on a long play action pass. And that's incomplete. And Brooks may have intercepted.
Upon further review, the ball was secured before
and
it
he
hit
did.
the ground. Interception. No timeout will be charged.
The Bucs challenge, and it overturns the play. Derek Brooks, his first pick of the year. And Tampa Bay now trailing 24-10, but they could add to their total. 1st and 10 at the 21. Allstott battles ahead, gains 2. Look at him real fast. He's out of Purdue, and he has had 49 carries, 147 yards, and a touchdown. Receiving 12 catches, 126 yards. 2nd and 8, ball at the 19. And Berg dances around in the pocket too long, and he's sacked by Adams, a loss of 5. 3rd and 13 now at the 24. The Berg finds Kevin House, and that's a first down. Art Donovan will be out a few plays, so it's Adams and Smith who comes in to replace Donovan. Bubba Smith out of Michigan State, better known for his acting prowess, I would think. 1st and goal at the 10, did several movies in the 80s. The Berg will run, but he coughs up the football, recovered by Baltimore. And it's Stukes who picked it up and ran it back 36 yards. Bubba Smith forced the fumble. Speak of the devil. And after all of that, Baltimore has it back at their own 45. They lead 24-10. And they're again going to go play action long pass to Derek Alexander. Keep doing it till they get it right. And there's another nice grab for Alexander, 29 yards. He's at 115 on the day. So they're showing no fear of Aqib Talib with all these throws his direction. Screen to Washington, 1st and 10. And the blitz coming, so we're just going to keep the call as it is. And this is Washington with a first down and a pickup of 15. Washington now has 2 catches, 31 yards on the day. Unitas, 9 of 14, 203, an interception and a touchdown. And we'll take it to the 2-minute warning. It's Baltimore 24, Tampa Bay 10. Trap right, Jamal Lewis. Gain of 3. And will Tampa Bay use a timeout? They will not. 2nd and 7. Heap. Short slant on 2nd and 7. Incomplete. Setting up a 3rd and 7. Good old Lenny Moore on the short pass. He's got it, and he's got a touchdown. Lenny Moore. Some sort of mismatch in the defensive back and receiver pairings allowed Moore to get it and score the touchdown. So the Ravens, not the Colts, the Ravens have now had 4 different players, I believe, score touchdowns. Yes, indeed, that's what's happened. Berry got the first, McAllister got the second, Jamal Lewis the third, and now Lenny Moore the fourth. And it's going to be 31-10 here in a moment as that extra point goes through. And we have 1:36 left in the half, each team with all 3 timeouts left. Touchback, as Isaac Higgins has not been too busy as a kick returner for the Bucs. 1st and 10 at the 20. DeBerg, a straight drop, throws, caught. And that was to Kevin House, who picks up 24 yards. DeBerg, 10 of 19, an interception and a touchdown. And will the Bucs use their timeouts? They will. They have 2 left. 1st and 10 at the 44. Here is DeBerg again. He throws, incomplete to Mark Carrier. That sets up 2nd and 10. Still at the 44, of course. DeBerg goes long. It's caught. And that's the Carrier again. He picks up 37, and this game turning into an aerial circus. And does Tampa Bay call a timeout again? They do. And let's give you the stats on Mark Carrier. We haven't seen too much in the regular season. 4 catches, 68 yards already. 1st and 10 at the 19. Throw, incomplete, looking for Mike Evans. And that's now 2nd and 10 at the 19. DeBerg at 232 total yards passing. That's out to Kevin House, a 1st down at the 9. Give to Warwick Dunn. Gets to the 4-yard line. And let's see, Tampa Bay will call a timeout. That was their last. 2nd and goal at the 4. DeBerg looking and finding Mike Allstott for a touchdown. And this menagerie of points continues to pile up. Your point after good by Husted, and it's 31-17. And Baltimore still has all 3 of their timeouts left. So we might not be done yet. Lewis is going to return it, even though this kick will go a yard deep. And he brings it out to the 19. 3 wides, and we're going to put Unitas in the gun, and we're going to go Lenny Moore. Lenny Moore is mismatched against somebody. They got Derek Brooks out against Lenny Moore because I think the Bucs are out of defensive backs. Let's just check that out. All their defensive backs might be hurt. No, they got Derek Brooks out there for some reason against Lenny Moore. Well, this will be an epic mismatch. Derek Brooks is a 3. And I don't know why they have Brooks out playing as a 3rd corner. Long fly, Lenny Moore. We'll just go with it. There's the throw. It's caught. And it's a gain of 36. Longest catch of the season for Moore. And let's see here. Baltimore will call time. I do not know what's up with this. Hardy Nickerson is out there against Moore now. So we'll just throw it to him again. A long hitch. What the hey? There it is. Incomplete. We'll go to Moore on the screen on 2nd and 10, and a blitz coming, so this might not be a bad play. Off of his hands and incomplete. 3rd and 10. Slant to Lenny Moore. They just keep throwing to because he's open. And it's caught. Gain of 26. And with 4 seconds left, the Colts, not the Colts, but the Ravens will get a field goal try out of this at least. Tucker, yes, I am sure, from 36 yards out into a little bit of a wind. And just like that, Baltimore has kicked another field goal. And we have had 51 points in the first half. Take a deep breath, everybody. And we will go to the second half. And the stats are piling up. We have had 631 yards of total offense in this half. Unitas 12 of 20, 273 yards, 1 pick, 2 touchdowns. Steve DeBerg 13 of 24, 246, an interception and 2 touchdowns. Tampa Bay has 309 yards on 37 plays. Baltimore 323 on 33. Hagan's back deep, and it's another touchback. So DeBerg gets another crack at it. 1st and 10 from the 20. Allstott. He will gain yardage. 9 yards. Lewis on the stop. So it'll be a 2nd and short. Lenny Moore was just carving up the Bucs on that last series because they were putting linebackers on him. 3rd and a yard. Ball to 29. And that is to Mark Carrier, who gains another 19. Tell you about Art Donovan while I am thinking of it. 1st and 10 at the 48. Of course, he was famous for being quite the storyteller. He would go on Johnny Carson's show, The Tonight Show. Yes, before Jay Leno hosted The Tonight Show and before Jimmy Fallon, there was Johnny Carson, who hosted it from the 60s to the early 90s. 2nd and 10 at the 48. Also wrote a book called Fatso, which told his football stories. A gain of 4. Ray Lewis on the tackle for the Ravens. 3rd and 6. He also was an announcer. Sacked by DeBerg by Lewis for an 8-yard loss, and Tampa Bay will punt. 4th and 14 from the 44. He was famous for being a guest announcer, and I am going to let this punt roll, at a WWF event back before they changed their name to the WWE in Baltimore called SummerSlam. And if you ever watched clips of that SummerSlam event where he was a guest commentator along with Robert Morella, better known as Gorilla Monsoon, trap right Jamal Lewis, 1st and 10. And he gets stuffed at the line. He was very curious about how much all the wrestlers weighed. And somebody, I think it's Botchamania, made a compilation of clips where he's asking Gorilla, and I think he's asking Bobby the Brain Heenan. I think Heenan did the color commentary that night. How much does this guy weigh? How much does this guy weigh? How much does this guy weigh? And he would just do it all night with everybody who came to the ring. Jamal Lewis on a pitch right, and he'll be close to the first down, just short. 3rd and inches, and they're still. This is incredible. Lenny Moore, they're still putting linebackers on Lenny Moore. Long hitch to Lenny Moore on 3rd and inches. Well, we're going to take advantage of it. And he's caught it, and that's another gain of 35 yards. He goes over 100 on the day, and they can't stop Lenny Moore. Well, if they can't stop him, we're going to use him on the reverse. 1st and 10. And he gains another 10 yards. This is ridiculous. Why won't you put a corner on Lenny Moore, Tampa? Look at this. You have all kinds of healthy men that you could put on Moore, but you got a whole bunch of 7s and 6s in there, but you're putting Derek Brooks on Lenny Moore, which doesn't make a lot of sense. See if I could change this real fast, because this is ridiculous. Okay, I'm hitting a few buttons. Oh! Here we go. Default offense. Default defense. Yeah, I'm changing this on the fly because this is ridiculous. In fact, let me just double check if I can. Yeah, I already did it. So let's just see what they do here. Yeah, it's still more against Hardy Nickerson. So I'm just going to keep advantage of it. Medium fly. Incomplete. 2nd and 10. We'll use Lewis running the ball. Trap left. They're short and tight, so why not go to Lenny Moore on a medium slant? This is silly. Gain of 25. He's up to 130 yards catching. Well, this is silly. Trap right, Jamal Lewis, 1st and 10. Loss of 2 yards. 2nd and 12. So they bring Derek Brooks in to stop Lenny Moore. This is nuts. Okay, short cross to Lenny Moore. If you're going to keep doing that, I'm going to keep throwing to him. Lewis, touchdown. So he's got his 2nd on the day. It's 40-17. Here's your extra point try. Good by
Unnecessary
Tucker.
roughness. Defense. 15-yard
And
penalty.
I think Tampa Bay's getting frustrated that they're throwing to Lenny Moore all the time. Leroy Selman just got hit by an unnecessary roughness, so they'll be kicking from the 50, which the animation of the game doesn't really show you. Tampa Bay has to be 10 yards behind the line. Kick at an angle and a touchback. So it's 41-17. Ravens, we have 6:59 left as this game has gotten utterly absurd. Throw. That's to Allstott, a gain of 9, and it's 2nd and 1. All the 29. Bucs still have plenty of corners they could use, and they choose to use linebackers. So they're getting what they need here. Nagata will be back in a few plays. Maybe if I change Baltimore and their game plan, that maybe that would work. So we're just doing this on the fly, folks, and you're seeing it. There you go. 3rd and inches at the 30. Now, of course, Lenny Moore was also a pretty talented runner. So maybe that's what's confusing the AI of the defense here. Allstott lost the yard, and Adams with the tackle, 4th in the yard at the 29. Nice punt by Bidwell of 50 yards, and Lewis fair caught it at the 21. 41-17, Baltimore leading. We've had 58 points on the board. Lewis, 5-yard gain, and it's 2nd and 5. Barry, a medium slant on 2nd and 5. Incomplete. Well, who do we bring in here? On 3rd and 5, we bring in Moore, and Moore is again paired against Derek Brooks. Medium hitch. 65% chance of catching it, and surprise, surprise, he does, but he fumbled, and Derek Brooks recovered it. And the Bucs take over. At the Baltimore 46, we have 4:27 left. 1st and 10, throw, incomplete. And that was Kevin House, the intended receiver, and Ed Reed made the tackle. 2nd and 10 at the 41. This is Allstott on the screen. He gained 12. Reed made the stop for the Ravens. 1st and 10 at the 34. Incomplete. 2nd and 10 at the 34. Little give to Warwick Dunn, and Ray Lewis on the tackle. Gain of a yard. DeBerg to Evans. Another 1st down and a gain of 11. DeBerg over 300 again. He has provided a lot of yardage for the Bucs, but it has not translated into wins. Throw to Allstott. Allstott, another gain of 9 to the 13. And with a 24-point lead, Baltimore does not have to play aggressively. This is done. He'll be short of the first. Back to the line. 3rd and a yard at the 13. Done. A pickup of 7. And that's it for the third quarter. Baltimore 41 and Tampa Bay 17. And one more reminder before we close out week number 10. We'll be doing the recap show 6:30 on Monday, October 12th. We will show you the projected playoff teams as of week number 10 with 7 weeks left to go. And we will show you the 6 non-televised games of week number 11. I will automatically play them, show you the results. So that's what we call the recap show right here on the Big Paulie's World of Sports Sims channel. That's October 12th at 6:30 in the PM. Back to the old game. We have James Wilder coming in at running back and Antonio Bryant at wide receiver for the Bucs. First and goal at the 6. This is Wilder. There's a marker down. So let's check that out.
Offense, number 73, 10-yard penalty.
They get Middleton for a hold. First and goal now at the 16. DeBerg throwing. Incomplete. That was intended for Kevin House. Let's do the yardage numbers. 382 for the Bucs, 54 plays. Baltimore at 446, and they have run 44 plays. So we have had so far in this game 828 yards, including the first few plays of the fourth quarter. Second and goal at the 16. Evans, touchdown, Tampa Bay. So it's 41-23. And let's see if that extra point will bring it to a 17-point game. It
Grabbing
does.
the face mask. Defense, 15-yard penalty.
And now Tampa Bay will kick from the 50. It's Gino Marchetti gets called for a face mask. And now see, when you're kicking from left to right, everybody, the animation lines up correct. I'm going to watch for an onside kick, because I think if you were going to try one, you were going to try one from the 50. And that's going to be down 9 yards deep in the end zone. Lewis, trap right. And that's a gain of 4. David on the stop for Tampa Bay. We have 14:29 left in the fourth. Trap right, Joe Washington. So we'll run that play to death. 3-yard gain, Claiborne on the tackle. And they'll look to Lenny Moore again. Medium cross. 3rd and 3. And that's caught. Nickerson immediately tackles him. And Johnny Yu with a season high 388 yards, but it would probably help if you didn't have a linebacker on Lenny Moore, which the Colts do. Not the Colts, the Buccaneers do. Didn't even have the Baltimore team named right. Jamal Lewis trapped right, 1st and 10 at the 47, and he's going to be trapped for a loss. David Logan on the tackle, and it is 3rd and 11. Alexander, medium fly. I've never seen a team handle Lenny Moore like that, where they put a linebacker on him, and that's going to happen again. They'll go to Moore again, and why wouldn't you go to him if you just keep covering him with a linebacker? Long fly. And there goes Unitas, and there goes Lenny Moore. And Johnny Yu now over 400 yards, 422. And I think there's some bad blood brewing between the Colts and, not the Colts, the Ravens and the Buccaneers, because they're throwing the Lenny Moore so much. But You guys got to put a defensive back on them. Sweep right, Jamal Lewis. And Lewis goes back to the line, and that is it. Lenny Moore now has 8 catches, 204 yards. Screen to Washington on 2nd and 10. To the 10, to the 5, and another easy touchdown for Baltimore. This is incredible. Johnny Unitas now at 442 yards, 19 of 30, and that was his 4th touchdown pass. And that's probably going to be it for Unitas. 48 to 24. We have 10:04 now left in the game, unless this somehow goes to overtime. The Berg is not having a bad day himself. 20 of 36, 326, an interception, and 3 touchdowns. 1st and 10 at the 20. It's going to be a screen to one of the wide receivers. It's Mike Evans, who gains 8. 2nd and 2 at the 28. It's about to rain where I am. Gain of 8 yards to Bryant. Reed on the stop. Antonio Bryant with his first catch. 1st and 10 at the 36. Screen to Wilder. And James Wilder with a first down, a gain of 12. Let's look at Wilder real fast. His son, James Wilder Jr., was a high school legend in the Tampa Bay area. In this replay, he's had 17 carries, 36 yards, but he's been lethal out of the backfield, catching 26 catches, 270 yards. He has 1 touchdown this season. And at one point, as I have probably mentioned a few Buccaneer games ago, he had the all-time total yardage record when you add his rushing, receiving, and return numbers. 1st and 10 at the 48. He held out in 84.
Start. Offense, number 61, 5-yard penalty. Repeat, first down.
Mayberry with the false start. It's 1st and 15 at the 43. Throw, incomplete, and a marker.
Pass interference, defense. Number 51, 15-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
They get Davis for PI, pass interference. And it's 1st and 10 at the Baltimore 42. We have 7:40 left. Can Wilder turn it up the field? He can, and he gains 5 yards. Volk on the stop. 2nd and 5 at the 37. This is a give to Wilder, and Wilder breaks 3. 30, 20, close to the 15, to the 16. That's a rush of 21 yards, his longest rush of the season. The Bucs have rushed for 111 yards today on 21 carries. But both teams doing well with the passing game. Wilder again, a 3-yard gain. 5:59 left. Not Unitas, but the Berg, that bounces off of Antonio Bryant, and it's 3rd and 7 at the 13. You got 289s in. That's my confusion. This was to Kevin House, and on 4th and 7, touchdown doesn't help Tampa Bay really, although a field goal would make it 48-27. That's incomplete. It's a turnover on downs. We're going to bring Vinny Testaverde in. Vinny Testaverde, who once played for the Buccaneers, he wears number 16. He will play the rest of this game. Lewis, trap right. And Baltimore is just going to chew up clock here. There is no reason for them to go for it that aggressively. And that's a gain of 2. Tampa Bay has not brought their subs in, otherwise I would be mentioning them. Joe Washington on a screen. Testaverde wore 14 with the Bucs. He wears 16 for Baltimore. Of course, he played for the Baltimore Ravens. I'm not even going to throw to Lenny Moore. We're going to slant it to Barry on 3rd and 8. That's caught. That's a gain of 14. Lewis, trap left on the double tight end set. 1st and 10. We have 4 minutes to go. Gain of 3. Fans are already getting out of the M&T Bank Stadium, heading for their cars, heading for the freeways, heading to get home. Lewis scheduled to get it on the dive, but we're going to go medium fly to Barry instead. Incomplete. We have 2:52 left. Lewis, trap left, 3rd and 7. Gain of 2 yards. Brooks on the tackle. And cannot call timeout. So we will punt. Sam Koch back to punt. Humphreys back deep for Tampa Bay. Any fair catch? No, he returns it from about the 15. The return goes 15 yards out to the 29. And it is 1st and 10 for the Bucs. From there, we have 2:21 left. DeBerg still in the game. Throws. Wilder has it, and he's past the 50 to the 40 to the 30. Down the sidelines, that is a 48-yard gain, and Steve DeBerg is now go over 400 yards. I believe this is the first game where each team has had a quarterback go over 400. 1st and 10 and at the 23. If we kept Unitas in, he'd probably go over 500. Loss of a yard on the screen pass to Wilder. Wilder has now had 3 catches, 59 yards. And Steve DeBerg at 4:01 on the day. 2nd and 11 at the 24. Another throw, another catch. This is Evans, and he's got a touchdown. Now the Bucs are going for a single point, extra point, which makes no sense. They should go for 2 because they're trailing 18. You get the 2, you're down 16. And the extra point good for Husted, 48 to 31. Onside kick, recovered by Baltimore. Hillenbrand on the recovery. And we'll give it to Washington on a dive. Joe Washington. Loss of a yard. We'll see if the Bucs call timeout. They do not. So we're just going to run the safe plays. Lewis, trap right. Just to make sure we're not double-crossed. A gain of a yard. 34 seconds left. Take a knee, Vinny. Let's get out of here. And that's your game. The final score, Baltimore 48, Tampa Bay 31. I'm going to guess the player of the game to be Lenny Moore. And no, it was Johnny Unitas. Johnny Unitas, well, that would have been my second guess. Here's all the scoring. Baltimore had that 17 unanswered points at the start of the game, and that wound up being the margin of the game, 48 to 31. We had 1,073 yards of total offense, which I believe is the most we have ever had in an HTFL game, just off of the top of my head and not looking it up. It's the first time I'm pretty sure we've had 2 quarterbacks go over 400. We had Tampa Bay had the ball 31:09 out of the 60 minutes. They ran 67 plays. Baltimore ran 60, but the Bucs had 26 first downs to Baltimore's 24. Both quarterbacks played well. DeBerg a 110 rating, but Unitas with a 132 rating. Lights out. Lenny Moore, 8 catches, 204 yards. And I always like to see who the leading tacklers were. Nickerson for the Bucs and Ray Lewis for the Ravens. Each had 9 tackles. And I like to look at the penalties. There were 10 called against the Bucs, only 2 for Baltimore. So your final was 48-31. Baltimore will be, if the season ended now, they'd be the number 4 seed in the Northern Conference. Tampa Bay goes to 0-9, and they still got the inside track on the first draft pick of the Season 2 draft, if we ever do a Season 2. And Baltimore at 5-4 would be the number 4 team in the Northern Conference. It would go, I believe it would go Cleveland, Green Bay, Minnesota, and Baltimore. That's how the matchups would go. So we move on and we play week number 11. Week number 12 is the Thanksgiving week, by the way. So we'll have two games, two Thanksgiving games for you: Atlanta, Detroit, Dallas, Green Bay. But that's week 12. Week 11, we start off with San Diego, Baltimore, Carolina, New York, Denver, Pittsburgh, and we're going to play 6 games and recap them on the recap show Monday night at 6:30 p.m. right here on the Big Paulie's World of Sports Sims channel. Hope you all were well. Hope you enjoyed this last hour of this game. Again, your final: Baltimore 48, Tampa Bay 31. We wrap up week number 10 in the Hometown Football League. We'll go over who's leading the statistical categories in the recap show as well. This has been Big Paulie coming to you. We wish you well no matter where you are, no matter when you see this. Godspeed and God bless. Go out and vote November 3rd if you see this before November 3rd, Election Day here in the United States. And Godspeed, God bless. Stay away from that dreaded COVID. And we'll catch you all again soon. Bye bye for now, everybody.